The silence in the house was louder than any shout. For 3 days, Adeolu had not tasted a drop of Iyanu's water or a grain of her rice. Every morning, he walked past the dining table, where her hot steaming bowls of pounded yam sat untouched, gathering flies. Iyanu couldn't take it anymore. She blocked the front door one morning as Adeolu was about to leave for his office. Her eyes were puffy from crying real tears this time, born of fear. Adeolu, Adeolu, my brother, I am talking to you, she cried out, spreading her arms across the door. Are you going to kill me with this silence? Talk to me. If I have offended you, slap me, beat me, but don't treat me like a stranger. Adeolu looked at her, his face as hard as a rock. Move out of the way, sister. I have a meeting. Meeting? Is that all you can say? Iyanu screamed, her voice cracking. Look at the food on the table. I made your favorite egusi with plenty of stockfish. It has been there since yesterday. Do you want to starve yourself to spite me? Or are those girls from the streets giving you something else to eat? I am not hungry for your food, Iyanu, Adeolu said coldly, using her name instead of sister for the first time. I am hungry for peace, and it seems I can only find it outside this house. Iyanu gasped, clutching her chest. Iyanu, you called me by my name? Adeolu, have you forgotten who I am? I am the one who carried you. When you were stooling and vomiting as a baby, was it a meeting that cleaned you? No, it was me. And you have reminded me every single day for 30 years. Adeolu replied, his voice low and dangerous. You use your sacrifice like a whip to lash my back. You chased Moji. You disgraced Seun. You framed Dupe as a thief. Tell me, sister, when will your sacrifice be enough? Do you want to see me go to my grave without a child or a wife, just so you can be the only woman in this house? I am doing it for you, she wailed. They don't love you. They only love your motors. They only love your bank account. And what do you love, sister? Adeolu stepped closer, his eyes piercing hers. Do you love me, or do you love the power you have over me? Because a person who loves you will want you to be happy. But you are only happy when I am lonely. Iyanu started to shake. She reached out to touch his arm, but he flapped her hand away. Don't touch me, he snapped. Every time you touch me, I feel like a small boy again. I am a man, Iyanu. A man. But in this house, you treat me like a goat on a rope. I am tired. I am fed up. So, what do you want now? Iyanu asked, her voice a tiny whisper. You want me to die? Is that it? I want you to let me breathe. Adeolu roared, the frustration finally exploding. I don't want your food. I don't want your washing. I want to come home and see a woman I chose, not a woman who owns me. If you can't accept that, then the palace I offered you is still waiting. Choose today. Either you stay here as my sister and let me be a man, or you go and be the madam of your own house far away from me. Iyanu fell to her knees, clutching his trousers. Adeolu, please, don't talk like that. I will change. I will try. You said that after Seun. You said that after Dupe. Adeolu said, pulling his leg away. Your trying is like a snake. It hides for a while and then bites again. From today, I am living my life. If I bring a woman here and you so much as sneeze in a way I don't like, that is the day your things will be moved to the street. I am not joking, Iyanu. He pushed past her and walked out, slamming the heavy iron door behind him. The sound echoed like a gunshot through the silent mansion. Iyanu stayed on the floor, staring at the door. She looked at the kitchen. Then, at the empty dining table, she realized that her grip had been too tight, and the bird she tried to cage had finally broken its own wings just to get away. The tension in the house was so thick you could cut it with a knife. A few days later, Adeolu decided he needed a witness. He brought his friend Ezekiel home, hoping that a third party could help talk sense into Iyanu. But the moment they stepped into the parlor, Iyanu's eyes turned red. She didn't even wait for them to sit down. She stood in the middle of the room. "So, it is you," Iyanu hissed, pointing a finger at Ezekiel. "Ezekiel the snake! I knew it! I knew you were the one whispering poison into my brother's ear." "Sister Iyanu, please calm down," Ezekiel said, raising his hands in peace. "We just came to talk as a family. Adeolu is becoming a man and—" "Shut up your mouth!" Iyanu sparked up, her voice reaching the ceiling. "Who are you to tell me about my brother? You are a bad influence, a homebreaker. You are the one turning Adeolu against me, making him grow wings so he can fly away from the person who suffered for him. Before I open my eyes and close them, disappear from this house. Move." Adeolu stepped forward, his face dark. "Sister, that is enough. Ezekiel is my guest and my friend." "Friend? This one is a devil in trousers," Iyanu yelled. She didn't stop there. She bent down, pulled off her heavy leather shoe, and raised it high in the air. "I said, leave! If you don't run now, I will use this shoe to reset your brain." Ezekiel saw the fire in her eyes and started backing away. "Sister, wait now. Let's talk." "Talk to your shadow," Iyanu screamed, lunging at him with the shoe. She started chasing Ezekiel around the parlor. "Disappear! Out of this house, you agent of darkness! Out!" Ezekiel didn't wait to be told twice. He turned and bolted for the front door like a sprinter. "Adeolu, your sister has finished. Oh, I am gone." Adeolu became livid. He had never felt this kind of rage in his life. He ran towards his sister, grabbing her arms mid-swing. He held her tight, his chest heaving up and down, breathing fast like a wounded bull. "Hoo hoo hoo hoo!" Adeolu was growling, his breath coming out in hot bursts. He started sounding his leg on the floor. The whole floor was vibrating. "Whoo! Sister, if not." Hmm, hmm. He was shaking with so much anger he couldn't even finish his sentence. His eyes were popping out of his head. If she wasn't the woman who raised him, he felt like he could have torn the house down. Suddenly, he dropped his hands, letting her go as if she were a hot iron. He didn't say another word. He turned on his heels, ran out of the house, and jumped into his car. He saw Ezekiel panting by the gates and honked the horn. Ezekiel hopped into the passenger seat, sweating and adjusting his shirt. Adeolu sped away from the mansion, the tires screeching on the asphalt. For 3 minutes, there was silence. Then Ezekiel looked at Adeolu and shouted, Adeolu, you no tell me say your sister don chop craze o. My head almost catch shoe. If I know, I for stay in my house, drink my cold water." Adeolu gripped the steering wheel so hard his knuckles turned white. "Ezekiel, I am sorry. I didn't know she had reached this level. She has lost it. She has completely lost it." "Lost it?" Ezekiel barked, checking his back to make sure Iyanu wasn't chasing the car. "That woman is not just a sister. She is a soldier. How can you marry with that kind of lion in your house? My friend, you are in big trouble." Adeolu was done with the tears. He was done with the begging. After the shoe-throwing incident, he didn't return home for 3 days. He stayed at Ezekiel's house, and together they cooked up a plan. Adeolu, Ezekiel said, since your sister wants to play rough, we must play rough too. We need a woman who is tougher than a stone. They found Linda. Linda was a tough babe from the city. They paid her a good amount of money to play a role to pretend to be Adeolu's new untouchable girlfriend. On the fourth day, the gate opened. Adeolu drove in with Linda sitting in the front seat, her music blasting loud. They walked into the parlor together. Iyanu was sitting on the sofa, looking thin and worried, but the moment she saw a woman, she stood up like a cobra, ready to strike. Adeolu and Linda walked right past her. They didn't say good morning or welcome. Linda turned to Adeolu, reaching out to rub his beard and caress his face right in front of Iyanu. Baby, your house is fine. Ooh, is this the palace you told me about? It's sweet, but we need to change these old curtains. They look like they belong in a museum. Iyanu's mouth dropped open. She was shaking with shock. Adeolu, Adeolu, who is this? This person in my parlor. Adeolu turned slowly, looking at his sister with eyes that were cold and empty. Who? Sister, sorry, I forgot you were there. This is Linda. Linda is my new baby, my heartbeat, the one who will soon be the owner of this house. He turned back to Linda. Linda, this is my elder sister, Iyanu, the one I told you about. Linda didn't even look Iyanu in the eye. She was busy checking her long, painted fingernails. Oh, the sister. How far, ma? She said carelessly, without even a nod of respect. Iyanu screamed. How far? Is that how you greet your elders? Adeolu, where did you pick this one from? This one is a Jezebel. Look at her clothes. Look at her face. Linda laughed, a loud, mocking sound. Baby, why is she shouting? Does she have a headache? Her voice is giving me a migraine. She leaned into Adeolu's ear, but loud enough for Iyanu to hear. Let's go inside the room, honey. I'm tired of standing in this dusty parlor. I want to see our bedroom. Iyanu felt like she had been slapped. Our bedroom? Adeolu, you cannot mean this. You are bringing this street girl into your house to enter your room over my dead body. Adeolu didn't even flinch. He wrapped his arm around Linda's waist. Sister, remember what I told you. This is my house. Linda is my woman. If you don't like the way she breathes or the way she talks, the door is over there. Come on, Linda. Ignore the noise. Let's go upstairs. Iyanu stood there, frozen, as she watched Adeolu lead Linda up the stairs. She couldn't believe her eyes. The brother she used to control with a single cry was now treating her like she was invisible. Adeolu! She wailed, but the bedroom door slammed, shutting her out. She sank onto the sofa, her heart thumping. No problem, she laughed. The next morning, the sun had barely climbed the sky when Adeolu headed out to his motor shop. He left the house quiet, but the air was smelling of trouble. Iyanu had been awake since 4 a.m., boiling with a rage that could cook a pot of beans. She marched up the stairs, her feet hitting the floor like a soldier's boots. She pushed the bedroom door open without knocking and saw Linda stretched out on the bed, sleeping like she owned the world. In my own brother's house? Iyanu hissed. She stepped forward and gave Linda's butt a loud, stinging slap. Wake up! Wake up, you lazy she-goat! Iyanu started ranting, her voice shaking the windows. So you are still sleeping by this time? You think this is a hotel? You think you have come here to eat and sleep? I will show you what I am capable of doing. I have dealt with bigger fishes than you this small fry. Linda didn't jump. She slowly opened one eye, looked at Iyanu, and let out a long, loud yawn. She sat up slowly, reached for her handbag on the side table, and majestically pulled out a pack of chewing gum. She popped two pieces into her mouth and started chewing, looking at Iyanu like she was watching a boring movie. Suddenly, Linda stood up. She was taller and firmer than Iyanu expected. Without saying a word, she puffed out her chest and gave Iyanu a massive shove. Iyanu hit the floor as she landed on her buttocks. Iyanu's eyes went wide. She was terrified. No woman had ever laid a finger on her in this house. Linda leaned down, her face just inches away from Iyanu's. She blew a bubble and popped it. "Mama," Linda said, her voice dropping into a dangerous low tone. "I don't hear your gist. I know your history. I know how you usually send all Adeolu's girlfriends packing with your drama and your salt and your lies. But see me, look my eye well well. I came prepared." Iyanu tried to speak. You pushed me?" "Shut up," Linda backed. "I go show you shege. The next time you try this nonsense with me, Jesus dey here. I go break and cut your legs. You think you be tiger, I be lioness." Linda stood up straight, pointing her finger at the door. "Now, woman, stand up and vanish from my sight. Get out." Iyanu didn't wait to hear vanish a second time. She scrambled to her feet, her heart doing in her chest. She didn't even pick up her slippers. She ran out of the room as if a masquerade were chasing her, her breath coming in short gasps. She reached the parlor, trembling. For the first time in 30 years, Iyanu had met her match. She realized that this Linda was not a career woman or a quiet girl. This one was a street soldier. Iyanu waited for Adeolu to return from work like a person waiting for a savior. As soon as his car pulled into the driveway, she ran out. "Adeolu, Adeolu, my life is in danger," she cried, grabbing his shirt. "That girl, that Linda, she pushed me to the floor. She threatened to break my legs. She is a demon in human skin." Adeolu didn't even stop walking. He just adjusted his tie and smiled. "Sister, maybe you tripped. Linda is a gentle soul. She wouldn't hurt a fly." "Gentle soul," Iyanu screamed, following him inside. She was chewing gum and looking at me like a criminal. "She said she would show me shege." "You're just being dramatic as usual," Adeolu said, waving her off. He walked straight to the bedroom, where he and Linda locked the door and burst into a fit of silent laughter. "Linda, you are a genius," Adeolu whispered, high-fiving her. I've never seen her that scared. The next afternoon, Iyanu cooked a big pot of vegetable soup. She spent hours frying the meat and seasoning the broth. She stepped out to the backyard to hang some clothes, and that was all the time Linda needed. Linda marched into the kitchen, opened the pot, and started picking out the meat one by one until the pot was empty of everything but leaves. She was standing there, chewing a big piece of shaki, when Iyanu walked back in. Iyanu's eyes nearly fell out of her head. "My meat! All the meat I bought with my hard-earned money? You this glutton! You this daughter of greed!" Iyanu was so livid she lost her senses. She raised her hand high in the air to give Linda a thunderous slap, but Linda was faster. She caught Iyanu's wrist in mid-air with a grip like iron. "Ah, Mama, you want to try your luck again?" Linda hissed. She reached for a sharp kitchen knife on the counter and held it close to Iyanu's fingers. "You see this hand? If you raise it against me again, I will cut it. I will slice it like onion, Do you think I'm joking? Iyanu's knees turned to jelly. She started shaking, her voice trembling. Please, Linda, please. I was only joking. Don't cut me. Adeolu, Adeolu, come and save me, oh. Adeolu was peeping from behind the kitchen door, covering his mouth to stop himself from rolling on the floor with laughter. He waited a few seconds, then walked in, pretending to be confused. What is going on here? Why is everyone shouting? Adeolu asked, trying to keep a straight face. Adeolu! Look at your wife! Iyanu wailed, tears streaming down her face. She wants to cut my hand with a knife. She ate all the meat in the soup and now she wants to spill my blood. Linda didn't drop the knife. She looked at Adeolu and blew a puff of air. Tell your aunt, Adeolu, I decrease. Oh, I no get joy. If she touch me again, I go shook your sister well. I go use amdo suya. Adeolu walked over, not to Iyanu, but to Linda. He put a hand on Linda's shoulder. Sorry, baby. Don't mind her. My sister is always dramatic. She likes to make a mountain out of a molehill. He then turned to Iyanu with a serious face. Sister, I have to tell you the truth. Linda no dey alright. Oh, she has a very short temper. If she says she will cut you, she will do it. For your own safety, don't allow her to cut your hand, oh. Just stay away from her. But the meat, Iyanu stammered. Forget the meat, sister. Save your life, Adeolu said. He wrapped his arm around Linda and they both walked out of the kitchen, their laughter echoing through the hallway. Iyanu sank onto the kitchen stool, staring at her meatless soup. The weight of the world settled on her shoulders. Her own brother, the boy she raised, the man she protected, had sided with a stranger. He didn't care that she was hungry. He didn't care that she was threatened. He believes her, Iyanu whispered, her voice broken. My own Adeolu is looking at me like I am the problem. This girl has finished me. She has truly finished me. The silence in the house that evening was different. It wasn't the silence of war, but the silence of a broken heart. Iyanu sat in the parlor, looking at the photos of Adeolu as a little boy on the wall. She realized that by trying to hold him too tight, she had almost crushed him to death. She called Adeolu into the parlor. Her eyes were red, but she wasn't rolling on the floor this time. She was still. Adeolu, she started, her voice shaking. I have thought about everything. The gold jewelry, the salt in the food, the insults. I did it all. I am truly sorry. I was just scared. Adeolu, I was scared that if another woman came in, you would forget me. I was scared of losing my place as your mother and sister. Adeolu sat down, his heart softening. Sister, no, let me finish. Iyanu wiped a tear. I am ready. That house you wanted to rent for me, I will go. I need to let you be a man. I want you to be happy. Even if it is with this Linda that wants to shook me. Adeolu looked at Linda, who was standing by the door, and then he burst out laughing. He took Iyanu's hands. Sister, forgive us too. Linda was a setup. She is not a crazy girl. Ezekiel and I planned everything just to show you that if you don't change, a person worse than you would come and take over. Iyanu's mouth dropped open. So, you didn't pick her from the motor park? Linda walked over, dropping the tough girl act. She smiled sweetly and knelt beside Iyanu. Mama, I am so sorry for pushing you and for the knife threat. I am actually a teacher. Adeolu told me everything, and we just wanted to help you see that love is not about control. Iyanu breathed a huge sigh of relief, clutching her chest. Hey, thank God. I thought my end had come. Linda, you are a better actor than the people in Nollywood, oh. But then, Adeolu looked at Linda, and the way he held her hand was not part of the plan anymore. But sister, there is a small problem. While we're busy pretending to be in love to trick you, we actually fell in love for real. Linda blushed, nodding her head. It's true, ma. Adeolu is a good man. I would love to be your wife, and this time, I won't eat all the meat in the soup. The house erupted in laughter. Iyanu hugged both of them, crying tears of joy. It is okay. If God has joined you through this craze, then who am I to say no? I will move to my new house. And maybe, just maybe, I will also look for one fine man to marry so I can stop bothering you. Ehen, that is my sister, Adeolu cheered. A few months later, the compound was filled with music and the smell of party rice. Adeolu and Linda had the biggest wedding Abeokuta had ever seen. Iyanu was the mother of the day, looking beautiful in her expensive lace, dancing more than the bride. She moved into her own palace nearby, where she remained the queen of her own home, visiting Adeolu as a sister, not a commander. The war was over, and peace finally reigned. Please, if you found this story interesting, please drop your comments in the comment section. I will be glad to go through them. Please subscribe to our channel and watch out for more sweet and interesting stories. Bye.